In today's information-rich world, it's easier than ever to learn something, but the distractions we're surrounded by make it hard to really know how to learn. Knowledge, after all, is quite nuanced, with there being various types of knowledge defining what it means to know something. Knowing about knowledge is important as it shapes our worldview and shapes the type of person you become. In this video, I'll go through exactly 7 types of knowledge that you need to know how to help you learn better, but also be more aware. So if you're interested, stay tuned for this video and make sure to like this video, and while you're down there, subscribe to this channel to help me help you mind the goal in mind. So looking at it, we'll look at the 7 types of knowledge. The first is explicit knowledge. It is the most formalized and easily communicable form of knowledge. This type of knowledge, as the name implies, is explicit and can be written down, codified, and systematically organized into different textbooks and databases. We see this type of knowledge everywhere, from all the data found online to the information you can find in books. The primary advantage of explicit knowledge is its ability to easily be recorded and transferred over. Being readily documented, you can find explicit knowledge in books, articles, instructional videos, or digital content. Implicit knowledge, on the other hand, the second type, is a bit less tangible and obvious. This is the knowledge that you gain and learn through experience. For example, the ability to ride a bike or drive a car is a type of implicit knowledge. You may absorb explicit knowledge of how to drive through a manual or course, but the implicit knowledge is what is gained from practicing the actual act of driving. Think of implicit knowledge as the how-to aspect of knowledge, encompassing the skills and abilities that are demonstrated rather than explained. Implicit knowledge is crucial in areas where practical skills and a more engaged understanding is crucial. The ability to perform certain tasks effectively, almost without thought, is when you know you have implicit knowledge under your belt. And in this day and age where experience triumphs education, implicit knowledge may be more valuable than theoretical knowledge. Implicit knowledge also plays a significant role in decision-making and problem-solving, where experience and intuition guides your action. But speaking on intuition and experience, the next type of knowledge is tacit knowledge. This is deeply personal and context-specific knowledge that is hard to sort of express and explain. It's the knowledge that we're often not even aware we possess until we apply it. It includes insights, intuitions, even hunches that are shaped by your own experiences and internalized over time. For example, a seasoned chef can often judge the readiness of a dish by its aroma and look, a skill that's difficult to articulate in just a recipe alone. Since this type of knowledge is derived from personal experience, it's often the source of individual creativity and problem solving. In business and science, tacit knowledge can lead to breakthrough innovations as it allows individuals to make connections and see possibilities that are not really evident through explicit knowledge alone. One of the biggest challenges with tacit knowledge is being able to transfer or explain it. Since it's not easily articulated, traditional methods of knowledge sharing like writing or lecturing are not that effective. Instead, tacit knowledge is typically shared through mentorship, observation, and shared experiences. And up to this point, this is where most resources will cover these 3 types. And knowing these 3 types of knowledge is quite imperative for learning anything. So, someone with a lot of explicit knowledge may be book smart. Someone with implicit knowledge may be street smart. And someone with tacit knowledge is someone that is both street smart and has a sense of wisdom. But if we go deeper, you can see that there are 4 more extra types of knowledges to understand that sort of are derived from these 3. So declarative knowledge, the 4th type, is about facts and information. As the name implies, it's a type of knowledge that can be declared, such as dates, names, or events. This form of knowledge is essential for building a foundation in any subject area. For example, knowing the capitals of a country or historical dates or the law of physics are all part of declarative knowledge. In other words, it's having a lot of explicit knowledge under your mind that transfers over into declarative knowledge. This knowledge is what people often associate with traditional learning and education. It's the kind of knowledge you might be tested on in a quiz or used to answer trivia questions. Its significance is not just in memorization, but in forming the groundwork for a deeper understanding of a given subject. In academics, declarative knowledge is often the starting point for learning. It provides the essential facts and figures with which more complex ideas and theories are built on. While traditional methods of learning such as rote memorization is criticized as being ineffective, the truth is that maintaining declarative knowledge is in fact an indispensable part of understanding more complex concepts and ideas. It's all part of the process. So declarative knowledge serves as kind of like the building blocks for further exploration and deeper understanding. Then, if declarative knowledge can be considered the know-what of information, you can kind of see procedural knowledge, the next type, as the know-how. This is the knowledge of how to perform various tasks and activities. This type of knowledge is about the process and steps involved in completing a task. For example, knowing how to ride a bike or knowing how to cook a meal or solve a mathematical equation are all examples of procedural knowledge. It's about understanding the steps required to accomplish something, hence the name. This type of knowledge is essential for the practical application of skills in various fields hence being connected to implicit or tacit knowledge. It's not just about knowing that something is, but about knowing how to do that very something. This knowledge is crucial for professions where manual or technical skills are required, such as engineering, medicine, cooking. To obtain procedural knowledge, you need hands-on training, practice, and demonstration. You can only really acquire this through practice. Procedural knowledge, with its emphasis on the application and process of actually doing, is a complementary to declarative knowledge. It represents the practical aspect of knowledge application, enabling you to perform tasks and execute skills efficiently through real-world settings. Then there's the knowledge that comes from reasoning and innate understanding. This is what is known as a priori knowledge. This knowledge is independent of experience, but more of it comes from an understanding of logic. For example, mathematical truths such as 2 + 2 = 4. These are often considered a priori, as this validity doesn't depend on the real-world experimentation, but on logical deduction. So as you may have noticed, priori knowledge plays a key central role in fields like mathematics and philosophy. Logical arguments, mathematical proofs, and certain philosophical concepts rely heavily on a priori knowledge. A priori knowledge is often universally true and not subject to change based on experience. This makes it crucial in areas where theoretical consistency and universality are important. And then there is posteriori knowledge. This is knowledge that is acquired through experience. So in a way, implicit and tacit knowledge is almost like a byproduct of a posterior knowledge. It contrasts with a priori knowledge as it depends on sensory experience and observation. This type of knowledge is foundational in scientific research heavily, where hypotheses are tested against real-world data. This knowledge is also central to experiential learning, where individuals learn through direct experiences, observations, and experimentation. In practical, real-world life, a posterior knowledge is invaluable. It allows for you to adapt and learn based on specific circumstances and experiences. For example, a doctor's diagnosis based on observed symptoms and tests relies on a posterior knowledge. This type of knowledge is crucial for understanding and interacting with the world in a practical manner. And so as you can see, knowledge is not just one thing, but a spectrum of many forms. From intuitive knowledge such as tacit to more direct data-driven knowledge like explicit, knowing something can come in all forms. This understanding of knowledge underscores the complexity of human cognition. It highlights the importance of recognizing and leveraging these different types of knowledge in both personal and professional ways to ultimately ensure that you're learning the right way. One of the reasons why knowing about these types of knowledge, or at least being aware of them, is important is that it can give you a better insight of how you're learning and making decisions. When you know something, it isn't just as simple as knowing it and that's it. There's a complex interplay among these different knowledge types that is crucial in fostering a better understanding of your learning methods, your learning habits, and overall skill acquisition. But just as knowing about these types of knowledge matters, so is knowing the different types of attention that exist out there. Understanding how you know something and thereby how your mind attends to it, you can study, learn, and acquire skills in a much more meaningful, deliberate way. So if you'd like to learn more about the different types of attention out there, make sure to check out the next video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so I can continue to feed you nuggets of gold that help boost brain and behavior.